Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over energy, and that includes oil, natural gas, and solar. We're going to take a look at that, and I'm going to give you my opinion, my financial opinion. Don't take it as advice, please. You're going to have to do your own due diligence and see whatever fits within your own strategy. My strategy has been to invest in the energy sectors. I think it gives some of the largest asymmetric bets and some of the best valuations. So a lot of leverage with very good valuations. We're at very, very low valuations for energy sectors. That's a uranium, oil, and natural gas. Even solar is looking pretty good. So I'm going to go over all the charts here. I'm going to describe what I'm seeing in the charts. My method may be completely different from someone else. This is all self-developed based off of kind of an engineering mathematics standpoint. You could probably even patent some of this stuff, to be honest, with how things contract and momentum changes in the candlestick body lengths. And all I'm using that for is an indication of buyers starting to equal sellers. And it's good for short-term, long-term chart patterns. You can use it on any time frame. So here we go. This is the energy sector. We'll jump in here and I'll give you my opinion. I'm going to start with oil itself. This is the West Texas Intermediate crude. We saw dollar weakness today, which pushed crude higher. Dollar weakness is going to be a huge tailwind for our commodities. And dollar weakness today pushed oil higher, and it's going to push everything higher that's commodity and dollar priced, or anything priced in dollars, I should say. Natural gas absolutely is taken off, 4.2%. I didn't look at inventory numbers, but guaranteed they're low. More solar and wind that we put in that has no storage of energy means that we're going to eat through natural gas faster and faster, especially if we have warmer summers or colder winters, as natural gas is used in heating homes and also used in electricity generation for air conditioning. So I see natural gas as an excellent area to be in, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite companies later in this presentation. Here's copper, and I threw copper in. I know it's not energy, but copper is also an indication of weakness of the dollar, and it also shows us it's kind of the leader of commodities. So we have a bullish engulfing pattern here, which usually means statistically that we're going to move higher. So that looks good, and we're probably going to break 460 areas where I'd like to be and close above 460, showing that we've broken this kind of this weak downtrend. So that looks fantastic. SM Energy, it's one of my favorite companies. It is my largest individual single holding in oil and natural gas. They are a 50-50-ish type production company, 50 oil, 50% natural gas liquids and natural gas. They are a high debt company. They are massively leveraged to the price of oil and natural gas. I am heavily invested in SM Energy. It's one of my positions that I overweighted at a very good entry point. I'm continuing to hold on to it. I am not even looking to sell with ratios of natural gas where they're at and oil to gold ratios. That just means that oil is incredibly cheap and natural gas is incredibly cheap. When interest rates go higher, I think that oil is going to outperform gold, and gold could get revalued much, much higher. And the mechanism for pricing these types of companies is a twofold mechanism. It's the price of gold going higher and the ratio contracting against gold. You get a twofold revaluation. If you're in a company like SM Energy, which has high debt, and when we have inflation is going to be reflected in the oil price. The debt will be eroded away when oil prices go higher. SM Energy's hedges are going to roll off sometime next year, beginning of next year, and they'll continue to to roll off. If we see higher prices, I should say we are seeing higher prices today, and I think they will continue to go higher. It should be incredibly good for SM Energy, which is a highly leveraged, high debt company. Their leverage comes from how much debt they have and how far they sold off to the downside when they got sold off. Because the debt, everyone was afraid that they couldn't refinance and that they were going to go bankrupt. They got pushed to incredibly low levels. And I think that this is going to all unwind and they're going to get pushed to incredibly high levels. Centennial Resource Development, another one that's a high debt, high leverage company. I also have a pretty good stake in Centennial Development now. I've been buying a lot of it. I bought a lot back here. I bought more in here, and I bought another good chunk in here. We're continuing to move up. It finished very strong today. That looks very good. This is another one that is high debt, high leverage, and got absolutely punished to the downside in the 2020. Crew Energy, another one that got absolutely decimated. And I'm in this one as well. I also overweighted Crew Energy in my oil portfolio. It's another one that is one of my favorite companies. So SM Energy, Centennial Resource Development, and Crew Energy are some of my largest holdings, along with Callan Petroleum, which I bought later on. I bought that one somewhere in this range here with this bullish engulfing here that I released to the channel. It was January. We came on back. This was a scary pullback for most people. What did I do? I didn't get scared. I'm holding on, and we're going to see this all unwind, I think, to the upside. The downtrend's broken. Up to you on what you want to do. And again, this isn't just going to go straight up. I don't think it could. It might. But we broke the downside with the dollar in a little pattern. I'll share that on the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'll post it on Twitter as well. It's at finding_finance. But I think we're gonna head on higher here. Overall, the general trend doesn't mean every single day will be up. It means the general trend will be up. Athabasca Oil Corp, another one that someone recommended on the channel here, and I bought in some. So I own a little bit of Athabasca Oil Corp as well. I'm holding on. Tetra Technologies, another one that I entered at 50 cents a share, and I own a good chunk in there, a good amount. At least it's a good amount of shares, I'll tell you that, because it was so cheap that I got in. But this is an energy service company. It does have a lot of debt, and I own it. And this is a textbook move right here on the right-hand side. 2 big up days, 2 little sell-off days, and then the big move higher. That's textbook. Buyers are in control. I think we're going to continue to head higher over time. Doesn't mean it's just going to rocket higher. Over time. I own a little bit in Transocean Rig. It's a drilling company, energy service company. It's another one I own. Tellurian, another one that I own. I bought it at 90 cents and $1.35. Those are the two cost position. I think those are the two spots. I might have bought it one other time in another account. Can't remember. Maybe it was here. Whenever you get these bullish engulfings, I usually like buying them on these bullish engulfing days. And I'm just holding on. I'm not selling any of this stuff. Holding on, waiting for a move higher. Grand Tier Energy, this is another company that I released to the channel. I bought in at like 30-something cents down here. I am continued to hold on. We had a nice big move higher, kind of the first initial surge up. We had some moves sideways, and I think we're going to continue higher. I'm just holding on, not doing anything with my GTE. Contango Oil and Gas, another one that I have a good amount in. I bought back somewhere in here, just over $1, $1.25, $1.30, something like that. I know you guys asked my cost basis. I'm just telling you when I first initially bought it. I've been holding on, and I'm going to continue to hold on to it. I'm going to hold on through the merger, and I'm not going to do anything with it. Birchcliff Energy, another company that I own. And I'm trying to remember all the companies. I have a whole bunch of different portfolios, and they're spread across all of them. Another one, and this one's looking good to move on up. Looks good. Looks great. Antero Resources, one that someone on the Russell was one that recommended Antero Resources. I looked into it, and I said, looks good. I'm going to buy some. I bought some. I just hold on a little bit. I'm just holding on. Comstock Resources, another one. I bought in a little bit. I think I bought in somewhere up here, but I'm still holding on. Someone mentioned, do I still own it? I do own it. Just I own a little bit. I don't own a ton. Southwestern Energy, another one I bought. Bought at like $2.50. Holding on to that one. Now, geez. Switching over to TAN. TAN is a solar ETF. And we came down. We've got a bullish engulfing here. That's this candlestick right here. A bullish piercing candlestick right here. That's usually a bottoming pattern. And usually what happens is you come up and you come back down. Sometimes you don't come all the way back down to the beginning. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you pull back a little bit below it. I am hoping, and this is just seeing the pattern, that we can start to firm up here and move on up. We'll see if that happens. The downtrend is still intact. We have not broken out of it yet. But with these bullish piercing engulfings back here, I think we're going to muster up the energy to break. Looking at the pullbacks, we have a kind of a bigger buying pressure pullback here, smaller, and it's not too big here. So it is under control, but it's a balanced buying and selling pressure here. I'd like to see a little bit bigger in balance where we can get the buyers to step in and push higher. Beam is Beam Global. They make standalone recharging stations. We're in this pullback. We've been pulling on back. We kind of bottomed here, came up and over, and I'm looking to see what this is going to do. I'm still watching this one. Like to see it move on up. It looks like it's firming up. Looks like it's trading very closely with the other energy sectors. Maybe it's just by coincidence. Remember, I don't know as much about solar, but we'll see where this one goes. Now, SunPower's looking pretty good. And I'm going to kind of describe what I'm seeing here. Big move lower, and then a move higher. A smaller move lower, some sideways movement. A smaller move lower, a kind of a contraction up, a smaller move lower. If you see that, I'm just going to show you what I'm showing with the thing. See that move there? And then we've got this smaller move here. And then we've got this teeny little guy here. Really small. Do you see this contraction in the downward motions? And we're contracting on the up moves too. It's getting smaller, smaller, and smaller. I think this is primed to turn. So SunPower, I've taken a good position and cost averaged in down here. And I'm going to wait for this thing to move on up. I think it's contracting down and ready to turn. Canadian Solar, another one I'm watching. Bullish engulfing, bullish piercing. Big up days throughout, small down days. We had a little bit of a sell-off here. This could be the tail of the pullback. So I entered a little bit early on this one. And I'm going to continue to enter a little bit. But I think we're going to move on higher, and hopefully that is the case. I don't know as much about solar, so don't take some of these words with more of a grain of salt or sand or whatever you want to do. But it doesn't look too bad. Sunworks, another one I bought. We've got the move down, a smaller move down, a smaller move down, a smaller move down. This is contracting. It's coming into what I consider to be a dead period where the buyers equal the sellers. If this was water leaking out of a jug, it would first leak very fast. The first gush out. Air came in. The second gush out. Air came in. Third gush out. Air came in. Fourth gush out. Air came in. Last gush. So last breath. We're going to enter a dead period here. That's where I like to buy. This is a risky entry point, and this is a very volatile stock. This is not financial advice, but I'm probably going to enter. I've already entered a little bit, and I might enter a little bit more here. And then I want to see the move higher. I want to see this downtrend break. I want to see the big downtrend break. Same thing, I entered SOL. And I'm not talking about the SOL like we're out of SOL, Big move lower. Air gasping in. Smaller move. smaller move, smaller move. It's just contracting all up. We're coming to a point, and I think the buyer's already in control right here. I've been buying into it right here. So I bought in, and we'll see if this thing breaks. Actually, let's see right here. It looks like it's very close to breaking. Man, look at that. We're right there, guys. Right there. We'll see if my buying in here is going to pay off very, very soon, because we're coming. And remember, we've got a floor here. There's a floor right underneath this. See that floor? And what happens is, usually, it comes down, tags, makes a floor, tags it, tags it, tags it. Now, see these moves in here. Big up days, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 small down days in this 2 up day. Big move higher, small down days. Higher, the leak off of sellers. It came below and pushed out, probably got some stop losses here. And thank you for your shares, whoever stop lossed out here, because I bought them. And then I came up, bought some more, bought some more, bought some more. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm smiling behind the screen if you guys don't know, because I think we're going to break here, especially with the other energy sector all lining up pretty good. Fuel cell. Now, this thing is on steroids. This is a big boys club here. I'm going to show you something, guys. The sell-off here. See it? Now, what do you see here? What I'm showing you is what I look for when I trade. All right. You get a sell-off. Gulp of air back. Another sell-off. Notice something here. The sell-off is smaller as we're coming through, and it's becoming less steep. It's like we're coming right into this point here, and we're at the dead period. What do you think I did here, guys? Bought it. I bought it coming down. I bought it somewhere in here. I bought it again. I'm cost averaging in here. We break this big move. Let me put the big one on here too, since we're looking at this and doing our trading here. We are incredibly close to a breakout. And we're contracting and we're coming up to this bottom here. So I'm in, and we could see a big move higher here. So I've bought it. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm being completely upfront and honest, and this may not work out. I'm not betting my life, savings on this. I'm putting small calculated bets based off of the risk reward and the pattern. So I just want to make that clear. Plug's another one. It's one that's come down. It's contracting in size. It looks like the buyers are starting to gain ownership of this, and I could be wrong. This one doesn't look as good as Fuel Cell or as good at this one. Looks really good. SOL looks really good. Same with Sunworks, because I like the length and the duration that this is pulled back. This may still have some more pullback in it. Same with this, but it may not. And then we got Vestas. This is another one that I added a little bit of money into. Bullish piercing, bullish engulfing here. They're all kind of lining up for a potential move higher. And I don't have a ton of renewables, and I want to bulk that up. So going through this, I am not telling anyone to buy anything. This is not, I don't want anybody to say, you said that this is going to go higher. No, it's not. That's not. I am showing you what I'm looking for in patterns. It is a statistical probability. I might be 40% wrong on these chart setup patterns. I may be 80% right. It depends on the setup, but I like the alignment of solar and the energy sector and the dollar weakening. That alignment looks good. And what I'm willing to do is I'm willing to take some money, bet on some of these highly volatile, highly risky companies. There's a lot of risk in some of these. They are incredibly volatile. I can get my butt handed to me here, but I might not. And I'm going to put some money down on it, and I'm going to try to ride this higher. If you guys are incredibly crazy and you want to go full risk button, that would be something a little bit different, and I may do that. You know, I may put a call option on him on some of these crazy ones, and I may walk away with 50% of my money gone. I may walk away with 1,000%, you know, a 10 bagger too. So it's all about getting the entry points. It's about thinking about how to structure it. And if you can catch this stuff where you get into a dead period, where the volatility goes down, if you're doing a call option, I don't want you guys, if you're new to investing, I would not do call options, but your volatility gets priced into the option. And if your volatility goes way down and you get this pattern set up, you could have a good setup to do a call option where you could make a lot of money because it's priced off of the move and the volatility. But it's highly stressful, and you've got the time decay on it. So I don't want to get into it with the overall channel, but that's if you want to go full crazy. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.